let's take a look at our top selections for Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Saturday's co-feature at Oaklawn Park kicks off a 50-cent pick five. Let's throw up the field for race number 5, the $200,000 Martha Washington Stakes. 3-year-old fillies going a 2-turn mile with a short stretch. Perhaps the first baby step on the road to the Fantasy Stakes, the last major prep race at Oaklawn Park for the Kentucky Oaks. 7-5 morning line on the 3 Coach, who had a 3-race unbeaten streak snapped last time out in the Grade 2 Goldenrod. Joy's Rocket has to prove she can get a mile. She's quick. She's got the rail.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some questions, they should be the 2 favorites, Dan. I guess some questions, surrounding both of them. Joy's Rocket has to stretch out. Coach is going to have to deal with a better field here after running really well in a pair of stakes races going long.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, because this pace might heat up just a little bit. You'd have to think Joy's Rocket's going to go, stretching out a 1/4 of a mile, drawing the inside post position. But Sylvia Q has been on the lead in all 3 of her starts. She's getting blinkers for the first time, and I don't know if she knows how to rate. I think there's a chance that Sylvia Q actually makes the lead and Joy's Rocket takes back and angles off the inside. But I think this pace will be solid.
Yeah, I can see the pace being solid as well. I feel like, Joy's Rocket breaking from the rail, I think it would be a mistake if Ricardo Santana decided to concede the lead. She's a fast horse. I think you're just supposed to go with her, and then we'll see what Sylvia Q does, Dan. I mean, she has a lot to prove against this field, but I think you're right. She does sort of seem like a speed horse.
Joy's Rocket is 3-4-3 sprinting on dirt. The one time she failed on the dirt was when she went a mile, but racing against horses like Day Out of the Office and Vaquist and running against this caliber, well, it's a little bit different. Joy's Rocket won last time out sprinting at the fairgrounds. She sat off of a horse. She attacked in the stretch. She was game in the lane. She goes from the long stretch sprinting at the fairgrounds to the short stretch going 2 turns in the Martha Washington. I think she can get the distance. There is a little bit of a question mark, but she fits this race certainly from a figure standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, based on the figures these horses have run so far, she's a little bit of a standout, coming in off of back-to-back stakes wins sprinting. We'll see what she does, Dan. I feel like she's run, I'll say, well in her last 2 starts when they cut her back. I'm not blown away by this horse. I thought she got a perfect trip last time. And I thought in that Songbird at Keeneland, I mean, it was just one of those races where once she got to the front, I mean, she never really had anything to worry about. There was nobody running behind her in that race. So I'm a little skeptical of her still. But overall, her form is just solid, and I can't really knock her.
Both of the number 2 Novel Squall's victories have come at Indiana Grand. She was almost 60-1 when she faced Joy's Rocket in the Songbird, and she never got within hailing distance. Was she exposed in that race?
I don't think I would go that far just yet. Certainly she has something to prove here. I mean, again, in the Songbird, it was just one of those races where nobody did any running from off the pace. And after this horse, to me, it looked like she bobbled at the start. She wound up last. I mean, what was she going to do in there? I'll give her a pass for that one. I thought both of her wins. I know they were both sprints, and I know that they weren't against these kinds of horses, but she looked okay to me winning both of those races. I think she's a little interesting here as the longest shot on the board.
Coach goes out for Brad Cox. She won her first 3 starts, including the Rags to Riches, where she defeated a promising Kenny McPeak-trained filly named Olivia of the Desert. Now, I will take exception. You said in the Open that Coach is facing a better field than what she faced in the Goldenrod. I think the 2 horses that beat her in the Goldenrod, Travel Column and Clairiere, are very good. I think there might be the 2 best 3-year-old fillies at the fairgrounds right now. We'll be seeing them in some of those major races. Coach ran well in that race. She made a 3-wide bid in company with the winner on the turn. She hung in there behind those 2 promising horses. And if this pace heats up, she's just going to tuck right in behind, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I shouldn't have said facing a better field there. She's facing a horse in here who's faster than she is on figures and who's going to be in front of her here. But it's certainly not a tougher field than the ones that she's faced in her last 2 starts. And again, I think she ran well in both of those races, Dan. I liked her Rags to Riches just fine. I thought last time in the Goldenrod maybe didn't get a great position early in that race, but once she started running, I thought she ran pretty well in there. To me, she's way the horse to beat in here.
4 is Will's Secret going out for Dallas Stewart. Dallas's horses often take a few races and some distance before they find their best stride. And I think Dallas had a very clever spot for this horse last time out in an off-the-turf race where basically she handled a bunch of turf horses. John Court, I think, realized he was on the best horse. He kept this horse on the middle of the track all the way on the back stretch through the turn into the stretch, and Will's Secret won in workmanlike fashion. She ran into that Clariere, who's pretty good 2 starts back at Churchill Downs. However, I think the hope for Will's Secret is the 1, the 6, they go at it, and Will's Secret picks up some pieces, maybe some major ones.
Yeah, maybe some major ones. I wouldn't be surprised if she takes another step forward in here. It feels like she has to. She hasn't run a fast race yet, but listen, her race at Churchill 2 starts back was fine. I'll give her, maybe a little extra credit for that last one just because she was basically wide the entire way and still won pretty easily.
It's been good, bad for the 5 Lady Lily from 4 lifetime starts. Maybe it's time for good if the pattern holds up, but she's going to have to improve by leaps and bounds from a Beyer speed figure standpoint. The good news is the first time she went a 2-turn mile at Keeneland, she won, and she won in game fashion, but she is going to have to improve from a fig standpoint.
Yeah, she's just too slow right now. I almost overlooked how slow she was, Dan, after her first start at Saratoga, if only because she just worked really hard to win that race. I just felt like she had to run every step of the way, and it was a 6-furlong race, not 5.5. But man, since then, she just really hasn't gotten any better.
Sylvia Q completes this field. She's come real close the times she did not win. Career debut, I thought, was a solid performance on turf. They ran her second time out going 1 mile and a 16th. She set the pace. She drifted out very badly in the stretch. She was still able to hold off a solid field. Willful Woman, the 3rd place finisher, came back to graduate at Oaklawn with a 77 Beyer. She had the lead over Sloppy Going last time out, and she got tired again. She seems green to me. The blinkers on, I'm hoping, are not going to make her speed crazy because that gets her in a battle with Joy's Rocket, but maybe it makes her focus a bit. She has some ability.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe that's why they're on, not for speed, just because she tends to, get out during the stretch of a race. It really cost her in that last one where she opened up the rail for the eventual winner. I don't know, Dan. I'm having a tough time getting past that last one because that was a short field. She was absolutely loose without having to go fast. And still missed the bob at the end. It wasn't a terrible performance, but probably a race she was supposed to win, especially if you think she's going to beat this field.
It was over a sloppy track. Maybe she is slightly better on fast. It is way too early to tell. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Martha Washington Stakes. Coach is 7-5 on the morning line. I wouldn't be surprised if Joy's Rocket and Coach, they get a little bit closer together in terms of odds at post time. If Joy's Rocket doesn't stay this trip, if Joy's Rocket gets hooked up with the 6, I think Coach might be the one to directly benefit from just off the pace.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too. I didn't want to pick her, Dan. I just didn't really know where else to go. I spent a lot of time trying to talk myself into putting the 2 on top just because she's going to be a price. And I feel like she's a filly who could be better than she looks on paper, but she has a lot to prove here. I chalked it out with Coach.
I'm going for just a little bit of a price in here with the 4 Will's Secret. I have a feeling this pace is going to get hot. The 1 and the 6, I think, are at least going to have to engage themselves, maybe with 3 furlongs to go. Will's Secret likely to be out sprinted. We'll see how good she is. I think she'll come with a kick. The short stretch could work against her. 4-1-6-3 for me, 3-2-4-1 for Mike. It's the Martha Washington, the co-feature at Oaklawn on Saturday. Kicks off a 50-cent pick 5 with an approximate post time of 3:06 Central. Best of luck.